What's up guys, it's Brownie, and today I am going to be reviewing and modifying a Boomco Halo Magnum pistol. Now I got this about like 6 or 7 months ago for like Christmas. Yeah, it's just like any other pistol, made by Boomco, and yeah, today we're going to be modifying it. Now there's only two things I really want to change. First, I want to change the paint job, make it look like the one in the game, because even though this is really cool, I think it would just look so much cooler if it looked real. So that's number one. And number two is you can't actually dry fire this, so this trigger won't go back while there's not a bullet in there. So as soon as you put the bullet in there, now the trigger will go back, and as soon as you take it out, it won't move. So I'd like to modify that because, I don't know, it just annoys me, and it's really really easy to fix. So yeah, as I said, pull that back and it won't fire unless you put the bullet in. And then but yeah, it's pretty powerful, I think. I mean, nothing crazy obviously, but within the realms of reason it is quite powerful. It's got 2 holes in there for the bullets, and 2 at the front, and then obviously the one where you put the bullet in. It is quite powerful, as I said. Really cool gun, and I don't think it really costs that much, so it is worth getting if you like, I don't know, Nerf guns, stuff like that. So now let's just take it apart. So I've already taken the screws out, so yeah, I'll just disassemble it and show you guys. Okay guys, so now to disassemble the pistol. So first you want to take a little screwdriver and remove all the screws. There are 11 screws in total when you count them up. I've already removed them all, so that's all good. And then first ones you want to take out are the top ones. You'll have to push this pin out from the other side. Be careful, you don't want to break anything, and it does have a thread on the end, which isn't helpful. Okay, so now you're going to want to go and remove that. It is quite hard to remove. You probably want to get a screwdriver for leverage or something, which is what I use. So just pop those off, and then it should come away eventually after a little bit of wrestling with it. Yeah. Okay, so now those are off, and also a little bit of plastic came with it. Be careful, you don't want to break your Magnum, but yeah. Okay, so now we want to take the red casing off. So because you've taken all the screws out, well hopefully I have, so you just want to pop that off. Should come off pretty easily once you go around the outsides of it. And there you have it, that's off. So now everything really comes apart quite easily. Take that off, which has all the mechanisms and stuff inside it, so put that aside for now. You want to hang on to the trigger, you don't want to lose that because that's obviously quite important. Okay, so as you can see they all come apart until you've just got the red pieces left. So now you want to take this apart. It also doesn't come apart easily, but you're just going to have to keep going until you manage it. Also be careful because you don't want the mechanisms to go springing everywhere. Okay, so now that you've removed that, put it aside, and let's have a look at the mechanisms. Okay, so as you can see, that's where the trigger pushes against, and that is what's stopping it. So when you put the bullet in, that pushes out of the way, and then you're able to pull the trigger. And then when you take the bullet out, it gets in the way again, and you can't pull the trigger. So to solve this, all we have to do is remove that piece of the gun. Once it's removed, it's as simple as that, and we can move on to the next step. Okay, so now you want to take a piece of sandpaper. I used 120 grit, but you guys don't even have to use sandpaper. I just didn't have any primer that would work on plastics, so I grabbed some sandpaper instead to make the paint stick. And then you just want to lightly sand all of the plastic pieces that you're going to be painting. You don't have to really do it hard at all. You don't want actually affect the plastic too much, because the paint will only go over it and you don't want it to be noticeable that it's been sanded. So just take it easy, make sure you rough up the surface a little bit, but don't go overboard with it. Okay, so now the pieces have been sanded up and they're ready for painting. So I started by laying my pieces that I wanted to paint out on a piece of cardboard so that I didn't paint the cement underneath. So I've got two paints. I chose satin black and a good silver. You guys can pick any color you want depending on how you want your pistol to look, but I decided to go with classic colors. So first we're going to be using the black to spray paint the handle grips. You also got to spray paint the trigger guard, but I missed that, but I went back and did it later. But yeah, so easy enough. Also, please remember safety and wear a gas mask or something. I pulled my jumper up over my mouth and nose so that I didn't breathe in as much paint, because paint is bad for you. Okay, so now that all the black pieces are painted, I've lined up all the pieces that I want to paint silver, and I've just chucked them on the same piece of cardboard, but I didn't put them in the same spot because I don't want to get any black on them. Okay, so I've got the top, all the mechanism container, and the trigger and bottom piece. So I've got them lined up, and now I'm just going to get the silver spray paint, and I just spray paint them with the same process that I did with the black spray paint. Okay, so once I've finished all the painting and I've let it dry for more than 24 hours, it's time to do the weathering process. And to do that, I've got some black shoe polish for the silver parts. Now, I just want to highlight the details and get some, I don't know, grime to show up, make it look like it's been a bit used. So, easy way to do this, and I did actually find this way by watching some Cosplay Chris. He's an awesome YouTuber. He makes some really cool stuff, and you guys should definitely go check him out. But this is the method that I got off him, and it'd be really awesome for you guys to go check him out, because he is a really awesome YouTuber. So anyway, it's easy. You just try and get as much shoe polish as you can over all the gaps and details that you want to stand out, and do that for all the pieces. For the silver, there's no point doing it on the black because it's black and it's black shoe polish. If you guys don't have black shoe polish, I guess brown would work as well. It would give it a little bit of a different effect, but pretty much the same. Anyway, yeah, so just go through and do that on all the pieces. Okay, so now once you've shoe polished all of the pieces and left it to dry for at least 30 minutes so that it's stuck on pretty well, you want to get some water, warm water preferably, but shouldn't matter really, and then get a cloth and dab it in the water and then squeeze it out. You don't need too much water in there, just a damp cloth will do. So make sure you get enough water out of it. You don't want to ruin everything you've just done. Okay, so now once all that's out, you want to get the damp cloth that you have. It doesn't have to be a cloth, it can be a scourer, but if it's a scourer, just go easy so you don't wear off any of the paint. and then rub over just the flat areas of your Magnum, and that should get off most of the shoe polish, but it will leave any shoe polish that are in all the little detail gaps and spaces. Should leave that stuff there. So yeah, it really highlights all that detail and brings it out, and just it's a really cool effect. So yeah, just take it easy and do it on all those pieces. Careful not to go too overboard. You don't want to rub off all of the shoe polish that you've just put on. You just want to rub off some of it. The more weathered you're going for, the more you can leave on, I guess, depending in what areas. You don't want it to look obvious that it's shoe polish or anything that you've caked on there. But yeah, if you guys wanted to put any other details, like if you wanted to actually put dirt on it, I guess you could just get some glue and then sprinkle some dust or sand or whatever over it and leave it to dry. And yeah, that's also a pretty good method. I didn't want to go for that, but you guys can. It's a completely viable option. So yeah, just go through all your pieces now, and yeah. Okay, so now the final and probably my favorite part of the weathering process is dry brushing. So grab that silver paint you had before, or if you didn't have it, you probably want to have it if you're doing weathering, because it looks like metal. So spray a little bit, get it on the brush, which should be dry, I guess it says it in the name. Dab it off, because you only want a slight amount on there, and then just go to edges, like edges on all parts of it, anywhere you think the paint would wear away, and just brush a little bit of silver on there. It turns out really great and just makes it look absolutely awesome. But yeah, there's really no tips I can give you about this. Just put it where you think it would belong, but don't go too overboard with it. You don't want to make it look obvious. It's just that extra touch that just makes it all blend and look ridiculously awesome. But yeah, so once you've done all that on all of the black pieces, you can go ahead and assemble your Magnum from Halo, and it will look awesome. So now I'll just show you guys the full reveal. Okay guys, so that marks the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I really liked this. It was so fun to do, just the weathering and the painting. It's just quite fun. As you can see, it turned out really nice. Here's all the weathering and stuff. And that shoe polish really outlined all the details and stuff in there. It made it look a little bit grimy, and it also left this interesting like pattern on the paint that I think just looks really cool. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. It only took me about half a day at most to do. I mean, you'd have to add on, I left this to dry overnight, so you'd have to add on 12 hours I guess. But yeah, it's really easy, really simple. It didn't cost much to do. This gun's quite cheap. and it's gonna look great sitting on my display cabinet. So yeah.